Hi, it's Cory, and this is Practice Series for Ukulele Episode 4, where today we're going to be looking at picking patterns. So this is the fourth episode in the series, and as always, the first two things you should do before we get into any kind of skill-based content is you should always make sure you stretch and tune your ukulele. If you need guidance, you can refer back to episode 1 where I go through each exercise really explicitly, but otherwise, let's just hop into the exercises for today. So today we're going to be looking at 4 new chords. These chords don't actually directly go with the exercise actually. Again, all these exercises are meant to build off of each other. So these chords are really popular secondary chords that I think is really important for you to have memorized and to build into your repertoire if you're not already familiar with them. First one I'm going to show you is a C major 7. It's a super easy 1-finger chord. You're just taking your second finger, placing it on the first string, 2nd fret. And it's beautiful, especially if you play a C major, then a C major 7, then a C7. And so all 3 of those chords we've touched on throughout this series. So if you haven't been kind of playing and putting things together, start doing that. Everything I'm teaching you is sequential, and it's meant to build off of each other. Another chord that we're going to be looking at is going to be the D7. This is the easy D7, or it's often called the Hawaiian D7. And you're going to take your first finger, place it on the 2nd fret, 4th string, and then take your second finger and place it on the 2nd fret, 2nd string. And that's the D7. We're also going to be looking at a D minor. That's going to be your first finger placed on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then you're taking your second finger, placing it on the 2nd fret, 4th string. And then your third finger is going to go on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret. And there's your D minor. And lastly, we're going to be looking at the E minor. E minor is often pretty tricky for people when they're first starting out, but it's really, really a very important chord, so memorize it. And to make that E minor, you're taking your first finger, placing it on the 1st string, 2nd fret. Your second finger is going on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then your third finger is going on the 4th fret, 3rd string. And there's your E minor. So these chords, there's not an exercise that goes with them. However, you could very easily just rotate through them. So you could start with that C major 7, then go to the D7, the D minor, to the E minor. It's not like they make a particularly amazing progression altogether, but sometimes you just gotta learn new chords, and today's one of those days. Now, what you are going to be doing, which will be taking a little bit from previous exercises and kind of enhancing upon them, and also, kind of a little bit, reminding yourself of what you had for our picking practice, which is going to make up the majority of this exercise video today. We're going to be arpeggiating through a couple different exercises. The first one is going to be going in and looking at the C major scale again. So if you need to go back and check out the previous episodes to refamiliarize yourself with the C major scale, do that. And what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be arpeggiating through but mainly we're going to be bouncing around in thirds. So in solfege, this is a very common vocal warm-up where you have do, mi, re, fa, mi, so, fa, la, so, ti, la, do, ti, re, do. Then you go back down both ways. We're going to be doing that though today with picking. What's really great about this is it's building off that previous skill of the C major scale. So taking you really, really slowly, and you can see the example out on the screen. So what you're going to be doing for this exercise, I'm going to take you through it really, really slowly. You're going to start with that open C, then go to open E, go to D, so that's your second finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, then go to F, which is placing your first finger down on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. Then you're going to go back to E, open E, then go to G. Now again, for G here, you're not taking the 4th string. You're using your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. To get that G, Then you're going back to F, and then you're going up to A, back to G. Now you're going to B. B is your second finger on the second fret, first string. Then going back to A, then going to C, and C, it's the same shape as a C major chord, but you're placing your third finger down on that first string, third fret. And then you're going back to B. And then you're actually going to D as well, which might be new, and you can use either your, I would say you can use either your third finger or your pinky if you wanted to, but that's going to be placed on the fifth fret of the first string, and that's that re that I was talking before, and then go back to C. Now, as far as what your right hand is doing, I would suggest if you're picking on the third string, try to pick with your thumb. If you are on the second string, try to pick with your first finger, and then the first string, try to pick with your second finger. So you're kind of assigning each one, but it doesn't hugely matter. The thing that you're really working on here is your agility. Now, once you're all the way up, then you just have to go all the way back down that you can see. And the only way this is going to change is at the very, very end, you're going to hit that G again twice. So you're going to go G, G, C. So descending, then it sounds like this. C, then A, B, G, then A, F, G, E, then F, D, E, C, and here's where you go back up to that G, 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 and then we have back to C. The reason why we have that G, G, C is it makes for a really, really nice 5-to-1 resolution. And all that means is different chords and different, they get numbers that are represented in Roman numerals based on their scale degree. And so G in the C major scale is 5, because if you have C, D, E, F, G, that's the 5th scale degree, and 5-to-1 resolutions sound really, really nice to the ear. So that's kind of why we do that in that exercise. Again, the thing you're going to be doing here is playing it at all the different tempo. So just get out your metronome, whatever you happen to be using. I use an app most of the time. You're going to be rotating between 45 with the slow, 60 to 65 for medium, and then 90 to 95 for a fast tempo, and you're going to play through all of them. I'm just going to give you the demonstrations now at those different tempos. So to start, here's 45 beats per minute. If you want to play along, that's fine, or you can just watch as a model. And something of a note too, technically, because these are all played on eighth notes, I did that to get it into a smaller condensed bar form. However, what I would recommend for this is treat each of the beats as if it's an eighth note. It might be a good challenge for you down the road, but start out first with just having every beat be one of the eighth notes. So here would be that exercise at a 45 beat per minute using the eighth note as the beat. 1, 2, here we go, and this is the example at 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, here we go, and And here's the practice at 90 beats per minute. 1, 2, here we go. So that would be the entire practice, going through at each of different tempo markings. And again, if you want the challenge, you can then treat the beat as the quarter note, which is what it's written at technically, and then it would be really, really fast. I mean, the 45 beats per minute, it essentially doubles it. So 45 beats per minute feels the same as 95 beats per minute. So just something to keep in mind. But it's a really good exercise that you can practice on your agility. And eventually you can actually start to use hammer-on and pull-offs with this exercise too, but that will come in a later video. The next exercise that we're going to do then is going to be an arpeggiated picking pattern, and this is going to be using the same progression as progression 2 in last video. So that's going to be the C to F to the G7 to C. And what we're going to be doing here is we're just going to arpeggiate ascending twice per bar through the progression. So what ultimately it sounds like is like this. And then of course you'll go through at each of the different tempo markings using that as your guiding tempo going through the exercise. And again, with picking, things get a lot easier when you start incorporating hammer-ons and pull-offs, but you know, it's good to kind of learn this way too. So here's what it feels like at those different tempo markings. And again, for this, I'm going to be using the beat as my 8th note rather than my quarter note. Here is 45 beats per minute. 1, 2, here we go in. This is 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, here we go in. And then here's 90 again. 1, 2, here we go. And that's that. So those are all the different practices that you have for this exercise set. Practice them, master them, and also too, you can take the same mentality and start working on and practicing to create your own exercises too, using the same format that I have here for you. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.